Good morning, church, and welcome to the musing for the 17th of June. My name's Dave, and I serve at Community Christian Church at Carillon. Last week, I spoke about God's experience of time and of how unlike us He is in that regard. And that got me to thinking about some of the other ways that God is not like us. I think we have a natural tendency to conceptualize God sort of in our own image, to assume that God is more or less similar to a human being. We visualize Him as an old man on a throne. We talk to Him like we would talk to another human being. We speak of the arm of God, the eye of God, the thoughts of God. Many, if not most of us, at least on a superficial level, treat God pretty much like a human being, only much more powerful and much bigger somehow. And that all may be kind of inevitable. You and I are visual creatures. We need to visualize. We need to have some sort of mental image of God. It helps us to relate to Him. C.S. Lewis once commented that we conceive of God as a mind, a personality, because He's more like a mind than anything else we've ever experienced. We know that God is self-aware, He's conscious, that He prefers some things over others, that He has purpose. And we infer from that God is therefore just like us. But the truth is that God is not like us. He is unknowably different. The fact that we are made in His image means that our natures reflect elements of His nature in some special and specific ways. But that doesn't work the other way. It doesn't mean that He is like us. Some ideas only go one way. For example, elephants can have fleas, but fleas can't have elephants. And similarly, we are a reflection of one facet of God. But God is not a reflection of us. He is infinitely different. For example, God is never disappointed. To be disappointed, one must expect something that doesn't come to pass. That can't happen for God. He has no expectations of the future. He has knowledge instead. For the same reason, God is never surprised. In fact, number 3 on the list of things that God never says is, wow, didn't see that coming. God is the foundation of our human hope. But hope is not a concept that applies to God. I mean, I know it sounds very strange to say that God has no hope, but if you have perfect foreknowledge, the idea of hoping for something is an idea that makes no sense. God is never out of control, which makes me think that God doesn't get angry, at least not in the way that you and I get angry. I mean, just listen to the way we describe getting angry. I just lost it. I blew my top. I just freaked out. All these phrases describe what it's like for an emotion to overwhelm your rationality, and I don't believe that can happen for God. I don't believe God's rationality is ever overwhelmed. I don't think God loses His temper. And I know what you're going to say, and we'll talk about that next week. So, never surprised, never disappointed, never hopeful, never angry. Does this mean that I think God is without emotion? Not at all. Because there's one emotion that does not result in a loss of control. One emotion that is entirely rational. Love. God can love with no trouble at all. And apparently He does. And thank God for that. And may He bless you all.